is the majority of persons have not been able to receive assistance. And even those who have, the assistance is still inadequate with regards to the type of damage that they got to their houses. Dayton spoke about the cash grant where serious situations that we're having, because after 6 months, I've still not been able to pick up the pieces after such a devastating hurricane. And they are frustrated because they don't know what is really happening with regard to the government assistance. And this is the only substantial program that has been implemented. And the fact is the majority of persons have not been able to receive assistance. And even those who have, the assistance is still inadequate with regards to the type of damage that they got to their houses. Dayton spoke about the cash grant where persons have to travel all the way to Montego Bay, and that has been frustrating again for the residents who have suffered in Hurricane Melissa, because what they have gone through, they should not have to be going through this now just to get the assistance that they totally deserve. The shelter issue is also another major issue, especially at the Petersfield shelter in central Westmoreland, where we still have 41 residents, which include 12 children. I was there on Sunday and again yesterday to visit the residents to hear what they're saying. And the major issue they are having is communication, because the fact is the government has made so many promises since the passage of the hurricane to them that has not been fulfilled up to today. The last thing we have heard is that by the 8th of May, they should be moving.
A little there from the PNP's press conference today. I think this is not.
I was there on Sunday and serious situations that we're having, because after 6 months, I've still not been able to pick up the pieces after such a devastating hurricane. And they are frustrated because they don't know what is really happening with regard to the government assistance. And this is the only substantial program that has been implemented. And the fact is the majority of persons have not been able to receive assistance. And even those who have, the assistance is still inadequate with regards to the type of damage that they got to their houses. Dayton spoke about the cash grant where persons have to travel all the way to Montego Bay, and that has been frustrating.
A little bit coming out of the press conference today. Let's listen a little.
Good morning, everyone. Let me start with the roofs program, because every single day we get numerous calls, but still have not heard it. They would come back, and no one has came back. Information and said they would come back, and no one has came back. And
by the way, I don't wanna too laugh about this, but for the young people listening, this is poor English. You hear?
The community took our information and said they would come back, and no one has came back. And
the people took her information and said that they would come back, and no one has came back. That's not good English. You hear? The correct English there is come back. Anyway, Mr. Vaz can be forgiven for that. I want to go on though to talk to you about something else, and that is more related and more relatable. The fact of the matter is that I get the feeling that Jamaica is being divided along two lines, you know, and it is concerning. The poor is always at the center of many arguments, you know. Do we love the poor, or do we fight poverty? You know, do we love the poor? Or are we to fight poverty? Let's deal with something that sounds good politically, but falls part under scrutiny. And I'll get to the press conference. Don't worry about it. I'll get it. The press conference is raising concerns about a housing crisis affecting communities, mainly communities that are, don't you find it curious that it is the opposition MPs that are complaining? I wonder, you want to tell me that the government MPs don't have no problem? How is it that it's only the opposition MPs that are having problems? And remember, you know, that these communities were represented for decades, 20, 30 years. And I want you to pause there, because you cannot preside over a condition and then reintroduce it as if it has just appeared. Don't work like that. That's a kind of amnesia. And yes, whether storms or hurricanes, they expose suffering. Hurricanes expose suffering. But I want you to understand that hurricanes do not create suffering, you know. The exposure of suffering because of a hurricane is not the creation of the suffering. What the hurricane did, or what they do, is that they reveal the fragility of communities, the structural weaknesses. Those don't begin with the hurricane. They're exposed. The amplification of the problems come about as a result of the hurricane. Do we love the poor, or do we want to fight poverty? I think that we should interrogate that a little, you know, the we love the poor mantra. Because at first glance, it sounds compassionate. But it is deeply flawed, you know. Because to love the poor as a category, it's a romanticizing of a condition that should be temporary. Poverty is not an identity to preserve. You don't preserve poverty. You must eliminate poverty. Prosperity must be declared as a mantra. It's not your identity. The real moral stance is this: you love people, but you hate poverty. Philosophers like Aristotle puts the argument forward about, you know, human flourishing. So if you truly love people, you should be committed to removing the conditions that prevent them from flourishing. Otherwise, loving the poor becomes a subtle acceptance of their continued existence as poor. Don't make nobody tell you say they love you in a poverty. You can't love me when I'm poor. You know, somebody said something to me today that, you know, boy, I tell you the truth. It's something that I probably will have to look into. Because I can't see how. Anyway, poor people sit down and take certain things, you know. It is a political contradiction. Because if you govern for nearly 2 decades, if you still represent many of these same communities, then the conditions you are now criticizing, they are your legacy. It's not about a partisan attack. It's about logical consistency. If you govern for 2 decades, you are still representing these people, then how are you highlighting their condition? How are you passing on that responsibility to someone else? You can't have your picnic them in your yard and they're hungry and you're looking over your neighbor for food. Now your responsibility, that brother. When you talk about land reform, I heard Professor Morrison talk about land reform. Professor Morrison. You know, there is a danger of language being used to obscure responsibility. And if you are a neighborite, I teach you this every day, that responsibility is not a detachable burden that you shift to the shoulders of others. Fate, fortune. In the days of astrology, they unload it on a star. Don't play politics. Here, using language to obscure responsibility. When leaders speak as if they are separate from outcomes they help to shape. Mark Golding is not divorced from the problems of Jamaica, you know. Golding has helped to shape the Jamaican reality. And he is blurring responsibility and accountability. And what we are to do is to solve problems. But what I see happening here in Jamaica is that we are recycling problems as campaign material. We have to solve problems. And it doesn't matter the political cost. The problems in Westmoreland must be solved. Because they have carried on for too long. It's time to solve the problem of poverty. But we can even take this a little further, you know. Because why do people remain in difficult conditions even when opportunities begin to appear? And it is a term, you see, that is called learned helplessness. What I see the PNP promoting today is learned helplessness. And it is a flawed argument that they put to it. And I'm going to show it to you. When individuals experience prolonged periods where efforts does not lead to improvement, they begin to believe that nothing they do matters. Those people in the school in Westmoreland are not helpless. And you listen to the PNP MPs today, it is a worrying sign. I don't have the time to play all of it, but I listen to them. And what they are promoting is learned helplessness. All of them, including the leader of the opposition. And it is a, by the way, what happened to Dayton Campbell beard? How him look so? How Mr. Campbell look? Mr. Campbell look like him in beard. What happened to Mr. Campbell beard? I don't understand. Mr. Campbell don't look like a Mr. Campbell. Mr. Campbell look like you know, when you dress up somebody. Well, anyway, leave Mr. Campbell alone. Oh, he died. You ever see man dress up lying down in a one casket? I'm not calling Mr. Campbell dead, you know, but he look a little weird. What I hear the PNP promoting today is learned helplessness. It is pathetic. Pathetic. The PNP today was pathetic. And it's not because they don't have a point. It's because they're not bright. They're not thinking. They're politicking. Because over time, people internalize learned helplessness. They ask themselves, why must I try? And it's not lazy, they're lazy, you know. It is conditioned. They are conditioned. And if a political system or a political party reinforces dependency, where survival is tied to patronage rather than empowerment, you risk weakening what is called the ontological agency of individuals. It is an almost sin to do that. And let me tell you why it's a sin. Because the creator of the universe, God Almighty, used 7 days to make the earth, the world. 7. Well, not 7, 6. And he rested on the 7th. Think about it, comrades. God worked 6 days straight. And then he rests on the 7th. And what is the theological lesson there? Man must walk. Men must work. It is by the sweat of your brow you are to eat bread. There is nothing in modern life that is we are to encourage learned helplessness. There is no free money anywhere. Don't tell me that if the government give you $250,000, you can't help, take help yourself. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that the government must take on full responsibility for communities' restoration. Don't tell me that when the government have to build back hospital, build back road, keep paying teachers and policemen, and do everything else. And you are going to a press conference to encourage people. Just depend on the government. Now wait on them. The government must do more. Any political party that reinforce dependency, where you tie people's survival to patronage rather than empowerment. Mr. Wholeness, empower your people, sir. Empower your people. Wean them off the patronage politics and empower them. Our people have been patronized for too long. Wean them off. It's what is called clientism. Clientism. Clientism is a system where resources are distributed not as rights, but as favors. I hear Professor Morrison talking about 5,000 container houses. Government must carry in 5,000 container houses. Just give people them. I don't believe in that, you know. I don't believe in it. I believe if a man is going to get a house, he must pay a little money for it. If I even $5,000 a month mortgage, if you pay for. I don't believe in no free house. I've never believed in clientism and patronage. Nothing in life, not free. I have to very well come up here every night, come work. And when and sometimes when I leave here, I still have to work. And at daytime, I still have to work. Nobody give me nothing free. I never get nothing for free yet. Nothing. Me never get no favors from government. You ship house from where millions of dollars worth of house can just put on the people. So say take it. Now, sir. Set up a system where the people can pay $5,000 a month mortgage and then pay it. Nothing pay it. Nothing free. That's empowerment. You can't just give people house up. Taxpayers have to work hard and pay money, and you just take taxpayers' money, build house to people, and then just live in it for free. They don't learn responsibility. No, man. You wean them off. Give them the house, yes, as a start, but tell them that over the next 10 years, every month, pay $5,000. So you own it. The issue isn't just poverty, you know. It's the system that organizes how people relate to power and opportunity. And that's why Adam Smith came up with this whole matter of the poverty of aspiration. And that is the deeper crisis that the PNP is doubling down on. The poverty of aspiration. Let's address something that is uncomfortable, because this is not easy to handle. I don't get into the mundane stuff, you know. If you're a neighbor, right, you know that by now, that we don't get into the mundane stuff. Let's show you the crisis. Because I know this, because even when opportunities increase, jobs, education, entrepreneurship, not everyone moves. Why? Why is it that Jamaicans are not stepping out to embrace the opportunities that the Andrew Holness-led administration is creating? Why? The man put up the minimum wage, then do a move. Him free up heart, then do a move. There are grants available at the National Housing Trust, they don't move in. Them just sit down. Why is that? Because aspiration is not just about opportunity. It is about belief. And that is why that press conference today was so dangerous. Because it reinforced dependency and it points the problem to the government. Government must do it. They don't realize that it is a partnership. And that is because you grow people up in an environment where success is rare, mobility is limited, and dependency is normalized. We must not normalize dependency in Jamaica. We're not going to get rich. We're not going to become a first world country if we normalize dependency. We must have a social security safety system. But it must be for the vulnerable, the needy, and those who can't work. If a man can't walk, if he walk. And if you're strong enough that you can have sex, you can find a job. Opportunities are in Jamaica. Enough place me go. And see sign put up. You know, there is a tire shop where I live. And every day you go there, you can't find nobody to put on one tire. No man no want to work. What make? This is what you call bounded imagination. People cannot pursue what they cannot envision. So yes, opportunity matters. But the mindset, have to change. I think it was Marcus Garvey who said, up you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will. You know, I always like to tell people that that there is no bird, once it's not sick, that 5 o'clock tomorrow morning will stay in its nest. No bird. 6 o'clock tomorrow morning will not catch no bird in them nest, you know. But all 9, 10 o'clock, man in bed, fast asleep at draw bungie. What they call it, snore. If birds can get up and go find something to do, why man can't do it? Man still don't depend on government. You know, sister, you know, the problem is a mental problem. The poverty of aspiration. Create all the opportunities you want. If you don't change the mindset, if you don't change the culture, then they won't get up. And the PNP is fostering that mindset, and it's a shame. I don't like it at all. That's the context of their conference. So what does loving the poor mean? Let us redefine that. What does that mean? It cannot mean that you keep them dependent. Carrying 5,000 container houses going to give it. That sounds nice, eh? How much for the 5,000 container houses? Who going to pay for it? What the PNP is doing is speaking for them, not empowering them. I don't want anybody else to speak for me. I want people to empower the people. And if you listen to Wholeness, which is why I have come to respect him, you know, Wholeness, Andrew. If you listen to Mr. Wholeness, Andrew, is trying to shape the mental faculties of Jamaicans. The man is trying to shift the mind away from depending on the state to partnering with the state. That's how you're going to create a prosperous society. It's not a trickle-down thing. It is where citizens engage with the state to advance themselves. If a man open up heart, you expect the man to come in your bedroom, come take you out and carry you up on your car, go put you down in the classroom. Now you will get up, man. To love the poor is to expand the poor's agency. It's the being. It's ontological. It's the agency of the human being. And that is the fundamental difference that I see between the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party. The Jamaica Labour Party seem to be about expanding the agency of people. bringing them into their consciousness, their value, to lift them, the thinking of people, while the PNP seems to want to keep them dependent on the state. It's a fundamental flaw. It's a fundamental flaw. And if you apply scientific principles, whether it is human science, like psychology or philosophy or sociology, you'll realize that it is flawed. What you saw in that press conference is slavery. It's a reintroduction of systemic enslavement, and the people of Jamaica must reject it. That's not how you grow a country. That's not how you expand an economy. Because it is a pathway to poverty. It always creates a pathway to poverty. You're a woman, you know this. Don't make a man tell you about he love you. Don't do that. Don't make no man tell you say he love you. Tell the man say if he show you. Tell the man say, show me that you love me. Oh, baby, I love you. Love can eat. Oh, baby, that can eat. That can put food on your table and buy you a bed. And put meat in your fridge. Love in this sense is not sentiment. It is transformation. And when you love someone, you transform their life. You're not sentimental. So love means that you can hurt me, you know. If you love me, you can hurt me, you know. Because if you want the best for me, if I am to be transformed, you have to tell me the truth. You can't treat me with just kid's glove and, oh, I love you. You are so what? No. If me wrong, me wrong. And if I need to do better, I need to do better. And you need to tell it to me if me vex, me vex. That is love. Love led Christ to the cross to be crucified. Nails in his hand. That's love. Love is not sentimental. Oh, baby, you are so wonderful when you know say the man not do good. Tell him say him not do good. Get up out of the bed. And go find something to do. And so you're going to show the woman that you love her. You have to create pathways out of poverty. And I think that Mr. Andrew Holness deserves maximum respect and support, because that's exactly what he's trying to do. To create pathways out of poverty for people. And it can't happen in 6 months. And it can't happen in 10 years either. And what I saw, with all honesty, at the press conference today was a return of the people to poverty. That's not love coming from Mr. Golding. That's enslavement. And so here is the challenge for any political movement. And I challenge the People's National Party tonight. Don't campaign on loving the poor. Campaign on making poverty rare. Because the ultimate proof of compassion is not how many poor people you can speak for, but how many people no longer need you. And when you love someone, you see, and you want to see the best for them, when you see them at their best, you know that, why, God, I've helped this person to see their value, their potential, and what they can really do. That's someone who loves you. The man who really loves you don't buy 2 patty kong you every day, you hear? The man who loves you don't carry home 2 pieces of KFC kong give you every day. That's not love. The man who loves you really empowers you and make you able to buy your own patties and buy your own pieces of chicken and drives your own car. If he picks you up every evening, no. And don't think that this love is to get you your own car. To get you your own things. Make you empowered. So you don't have to depend on him. That's love. And so I don't see where the PNP is loving Jamaica. Because if they love Jamaica, they couldn't keep that press conference today and talk them with foolishness. You know, I said to you earlier about the whole matter of bounded imagination. Because people don't simply respond to opportunities, you know. They respond to what they believe is possible for people like them. And in Jamaica today, the objective reality is important. There are more tertiary education pathways than ever before. Neighbor writes, when I left school in 1993, you see, there was one university in Jamaica, the University of the West Indies. And then there was CAST. It never called UTEC. Them name it K. It was KS or CAST, something to that effect. I don't remember, but it was the College of something. KS or CAST. When it used to name. Before it, CAST, yes. So when I left school, if you applied to the university, you couldn't get through. Because I went to Homewood, most of my colleagues went to because CAST was like the technical part of it. You had to be of a certain class to be at the University of the West Indies. Hear me carefully. There was no NCU in Mandeville. NCU was West Indies College. West Indies College was mainly for the elites in Mandeville. Then you had Knox Community College in Spaldings that I miraculously get through to go to Knox. I'll tell you that story at another time, how I ended up there, because those were the creme de la creme. You hear what I'm saying to you? So, if you apply to the university when I left high school, they put you on a waiting list. And you had to get 2 or 3 guarantors. And me not say where you're going to find the money, because the student loan at the time wouldn't lend you the full fee. You get a portion of it and your parents would have to find it. God help you if you get a scholarship. Now, what you would have to do then is you have to go find one work. And there were no jobs. There were no jobs. There were no jobs in Jamaica in 1993. You couldn't go on. Oh my God. I remember my final day. I stood up outside of Homewood and I cried. I said to myself, what am I going to do? My mother can't help. My mother can't send me no further to school. What am I going to do? I can't find no work. But God was on my side. Compare that to today. Every student leaving high school in Jamaica, once they matriculate to the university, can walk into the student loan bureau. Even if them papa and them mama, would you be offended if I say mama? If them father or them mother is dead, they could be as pauperized as nothing. If they matriculate, they can walk into New Kingston. They don't have to walk into New Kingston. They can pick up their phone, apply to the university or the University of Technology or any university. And if they qualify, the government of Jamaica funds it by 100%. And you know what the interest rate is? Students who had loans with the Student Loan Bureau got $100,000 in their accounts over Melissa. That is the Jamaica that is existing under Andrew Holness. Tertiary education pathways are larger than ever before. There has never been a time in the history of Jamaica where there is so many opportunities available for young people. Heart is offering level 4 for free. When I was growing up, you think you're going to go Heart for free? A friend of mine is working online, digital work online, freelancing, entrepreneurship. Ecosystems are more visible than 20 to 30 years ago. These are our best days. There are opportunities in Jamaica like never before. If you're there Jamaica and you suffer, you're worthless. You're crawfish. You know, no ambition. Something there you can do. Lift up yourself. A lady came on this program this morning. I remember my grandmother carried me go to a hospital when I was growing up. You did it all for 3 days. Can't get through. 3 days. And there are people who died at their homes in Jamaica. Dead because they couldn't find the money to pay at the hospital. Because when you go to a hospital, you have to register. You have to register. If you don't have the money, you're not getting in. And today, you can turn up at any hospital except the University Hospital of the West Indies. And you don't pay $1. I spent 3 nights in the Spanish Town Hospital. 3 nights. And when I was coming out, not a soul asked me for $1. Not $1. So the question then becomes, if opportunity is expanding, why does prescription of stagnation remain in some communities? Since there are so many opportunities in Jamaica, why are some communities stagnated? And this is where the bounded imagination matters. If a person grows up in a political and social environment where survival is tied to political cycles, improvement is seen as externally delivered, and advancement is in episodes rather than structural, then opportunities stop being personal, and it becomes a political event. That is what the press conference taught me today. That's what the press conference taught me. That survival is tied to political cycles. Vote in the PNP and your life will be better. Because we will deliver improvements. We will not empower you. And your advancement depends on us. It's not structural. It is the structure. It is the system that must deliver the benefits for the people. Wholeness is correct. Andrew, wholeness is correct. Improve the system. Let them apply. And let the system deliver the results to them. Don't give them nothing outside of the system. They must register. Don't listen to Mark Golding and those MPs today. That's not how you run a country. And when you run it like that, it is open for the systemic corruption that we are seeing right now. Now, when communities experience long-term conditions where access to resources is mediated through authority, something subtle happens, because people begin to believe that the change that they need comes from outside. Listeners, listen to me tonight. Even you, I'm speaking to, and I speak to myself. Change don't come from outside. Change comes from within you. You see those people in the school sitting down depending on the government? The change you're waiting on. Government is setting deadlines for them to move out. Not even that no right. Not even that no right, but I won't go there. Change comes from outside of you? No. You see, exposure to repeated exposure to limited control produce what is called learned helplessness. And learned helplessness is not laziness, you know. It is adaptation. It's a learned behavior. So you don't have the drive to take the initiative. I hear the PNP MPs. I want to call them ineffective, maybe worthless, but those may be strong words. Complaining that the people have to travel to Montego Bay to pick up the checks. No, you tell me this, listeners. Complaining that the people have to travel to Montego Bay to pick up the checks. So not even travel. You don't want them to go to travel to go pick up the check. You complaining that I walk from Christiana to Mandeville to go to school. I walk from Christiana to Mandeville, and the PNP MPs were calling a press conference to say that the people have a travel, go on Montego Bay to pick up the check. Then Jesus Christ, man. If government have one check for me for $200,000 and $500,000, and me down St. James, or wherever me there, and me can't go pick it up. So what? The government must carry con give you? That is what you call learned helplessness. They should have let them travel come a town, come pick it up. Get up out of your bed, jump on a bus and come a town. You are complaining over that you have to travel to come pick it up. You see the problem with the thinking of the opposition? Now, anybody tell me say you had $200,000 for me down a Montego Bay tomorrow morning. And see if me not done that by 6 o'clock. Just anybody online? Anyone online? I'll be there 6 o'clock for 50. Anyone online, text me now and tell me you have 50 grand for me and Montego Bay tomorrow morning and see if me not done that by 6 o'clock. You must be joking. You must be joking. Huh? You just put me on the phone now and tell me, say, come on Montego Bay tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. And I will give you 50,000. See if me not done them. As a matter of fact, I'll be there at 5:30. Learn helplessness, you see? Because people no longer take initiatives. They don't take risk. And the aspirations becomes conditional on external approval. Ian Hales, learn that, sir. You are not being good members of parliament. Not being good. Political representatives. And that is why that man, Wholeness, must be supported in this process. Andrew Wholeness must be supported because Andrew Wholeness is doing something that only Siaga could do. PJ couldn't do it because PJ had more of a legal mind. Bruce couldn't do it because Bruce was more technocratic. Where Claudette, where part if you come, quickly tell me. I'll be there tomorrow morning, Christiana. Nice. I walk up there. I walk up Penn Hill. Run up Penn Hill for it, man. Wholeness, in my view, is using sociology with an economic model to transform Jamaica. And I believe that he should be supported. I like it because I've been sharing a term with you. It's called, it's ontological. It's the ontological agency. That is what you have to do with people. If you are going to help somebody, you have to help them to help themselves. You hear me tell you? Then they talk about teach a man how to fish. Teach him to fish. Because if you not teach him to fish, you're not going to be, you know, I tell you a story. There's a lady that I used to help with groceries. So I was working at a particular place and I used to help her with groceries. Now, whenever I gave her groceries, and my mom, if you're listening to me, well, I won't call your name. Whenever I gave groceries, I'd give like a week's supply. She had a little child. And I noticed that whenever I brought the groceries, she was very appreciative of it. And, you know, thank you, sir. But then after 2 weeks, she called again. The grocery finish. The grocery finish. But me and your man, you call me and you ask me to help you with some grocery. And I bring you 2 weeks supply of grocery. And you sit down for 2 weeks, near me off. And after 2 weeks, you call the grocery finish. Come on now. So, okay. and me gas finish too. But then your man, you can't. So wait now. If I give you grocery for 2 weeks, 2 weeks time no good time for you to find something, to figure something out, man. Eh? So I am a man with a soft heart. So I step up again. and I bring in more grocery. And after 2 weeks supply and another 2 weeks supply, the girl I go call say, he grocery done. Well, if I was the type of man, then I would have made my own demand. I would have said, what and you look somebody in your mouth. You know,
Oh gosh.
why I tell you something.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it's true. You look somebody in your mouth, sister. You're joking. You are joking. You understand me? That coming like at the PNP. A PNP are that man, other man there. You understand me? And also you treat people. You see when you give her that grocery, you tell her, say, I tell you something, you say, baby, don't call me after 2 weeks now. You just don't call me back. Because that's not going to work. Because you always go hungry. So I'm not your man. So don't put on that responsibility on me. I don't responsible for you. I can lend you a helping hand. Tell me to help you find a job or something, man. Tell me to, can you help me see if I can find a job, sir? Can you help me to? Don't tell me every week you call me for grocery. What you are doing, is becoming vulnerable to me. You must think, say, at some point, me go ask you for. Yes. And maybe you think, say, man must be a fool. Cause look, you might carry grocery come give me one nothing. Man say me no want nothing. But I'm not exploiting your vulnerability. The ontological agency of people must be useful, because it is not just about what people can do. It is about what they believe they are. And those people in this shelter have lost their ontological agency. And there was nothing in the press conference today that brought that out. And that is where wholeness is shining as a prime minister in Jamaica. I beg you, labor rights. I beg you, listen to what I'm saying to you tonight. Wholeness is not it's a gift to Jamaica. It's a gift to this country. And he doesn't deserve some of what they throw at him. He doesn't deserve it. Because he's got this right. And I fully support him. 100%. This is how you run a country, especially a country that is struggling with its past clientistic culture and its past patronage culture. And that is why the PNP, many people are getting to dislike them. They don't practice good politics. They have good development policies. Don't support wholeness because he's a labor right. I don't do that. I support Mr. Wholeness because wholeness understands human development, how to wean human beings off the state. It can be done just like a one cut, and any good tailor know. You don't just cut the cloth. You have to be precise. It's not about what people can do. It's about what they believe they are. Are they authors of their lives or recipients of political distribution?